London is one of the most diverse cities in the world, but many Londoners don't see themselves or their histories reflected in our public realm. The range of people immortalised in our statues, memorials and buildings do not capture who we are and what we represent. It's an uncomfortable truth, for example, that our nation and our city owe a large part of their wealth to the slave trade. The Black Lives Matter protest have rightly brought this to the public's attention. Under the terms of the GLA Act, I have the authority to establish advisory boards and commissions which promote economic and social development. As Mayor, I represent all Londoners, and I believe it's important that we bring people together and take the right steps to ensure we celebrate the achievements and diversity of everyone in our city. That's why I've established the Commission. As well as City Hall, boroughs across London and others are also addressing this important issue, and my team is working closely with other global cities including New York and Sydney. In London, we've established a partners board to provide advice to the Commission, which includes English Heritage, the Arts Council, Black Cultural Archives and Historic England. And we're working in partnership with borough leaders from across London who welcomed the Commission. It's important to be clear about why this issue has captured the imagination of Londoners. Our capital's diversity is our greatest strength, yet our statues, road names and public spaces reflect a bygone era. This can't continue. I think we should celebrate the achievements and diversity of everyone in our city and that we commemorate those who've made London what it is today. To do this, we must discuss the sometimes complicated legacy of our public realm, and this is what the Commission is all about.
Thank you for that answer, Mr. Mayor. When they drafted that act that you referred to, I don't think probably that they expected that they would have a mayor who saw it perfectly fine to take upon himself to judge London's heritage and past. And I would ask you, on a moral level, if not a legislative one, what right do you think you have to sit with this committee in judgment on London's heritage, which has, I would add, a British significance too, being the capital?
Well, let me try and just unpackage the number of issues you raised there. So I think you're wrong in your analysis of the intentions of parliamentarians who drafted the GLA Act. You'll be aware that previous mayors have, for example, with others, decided what takes place on the fourth plinth. You'll be aware, for example, that we now have a new statue in Parliament Square of Millicent Fawcett, which was, which City Hall did a lot of work in getting to where it is today. You'll also be aware that previous mayors have made decisions around the public realm of Trafalgar Square and Parliament Square as well. So when you talk about the intention of the GLA Act, I'm really happy for us to both explore what the intentions were, but I think you're wrong there. In relation to me being the judge, I'm not. We've set up a commission which have a number of key stakeholders from across our great city who will be providing advice which we hope to act upon.
Mr. Mayor, these people on your commission, they're all going to be basically mayor's mates, aren't they? They're all going to sing from the same hymn sheet, which is an ideological one. This was born, this idea, and you announced it at the very height of the BLM protest. So basically, the incentive behind this really is one of revising and removal. Millicent Fawcett in Parliament Square was a new statue. We're not really talking about that, are we? We're talking about going back through London's past. You mentioned, in when you've talked about this, you said that much of London comes from a bygone era. Well, that would be history, Mr. Mayor. You do accept that a bygone era is actually history. And I repeat, nobody, no mayor, no elected official, none of us, have the right to simply start removing and revising what has been there for centuries and centuries. And you say that I would take great issue when you say this has really captured the imaginations of Londoners. It's really demoralised them. Can you not see that?
Well, I can see you're demoralised, but I can speak on behalf of other Londoners who quite like the idea of us looking at public spaces. There could be street names, there could be works of art, there could be murals, there could be blue plaques, and there could be other issues as well. I'm not quite clear why you feel so threatened by
I don't feel threatened, Mr. Mayor. I don't feel threatened at all. I do not feel threatened. It's not a question of that. What I do feel very passionate about is somebody basically coming in and essentially saying, I am going to, or this commission is going to start, as you put it, deciding which legacies should be celebrated and which shouldn't be. No one has the right to do that. And I think it is extraordinary at a time when this city is facing almost extinction level event economically, largely as well down to many of the things you've done, such as congestion charge and all of that, that actually now you start attacking its heritage. And the councils that you refer to are Labour ones, 130 of them up and down the country. We all know, do we not, Mr. Mayor, that your party doesn't really like patriotism, doesn't really like Britain very much, wouldn't you say?
It's quite a slur, but coming from you, it's no surprise. We're a very patriotic party. I'm very proud of the achievements.
Disgraceful, Chair. Will you
proud.
reprimand that Assembly member? That's an absolute disgrace.
No,
he should be immediately reprimanded. That's an insult to the Mayor. It's an insult to Labour members of this Assembly.
No. Listen, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
At the very time when this city is facing what it's facing, it is extraordinary that you are now concentrating on setting up something to revise its past history.
Well, Chair, that's a characterisation I don't accept.
Right, well, Mr. Mayor, all I can say is that the one consolation is that it's very unlikely that anyone's going to be putting up a statue to you.
Can I ask Assembly members to be respectful, not play dirty party political games here? This is not. Let me finish, Mr. Whittle, Assembly Member Whittle. Please do not cross the border. This is not the place for those kind of tactics, and I will not allow that in this Assembly chamber.
Are you
Can we
joking,
move
Mr.
on?
Chairman?
I'm going to move on from here. Can I invite...
Chair, point of order. Chair, point of order.
Yes, Assembly Member Arnold.
Yes, I would like some advice because I wish to name Assembly Member Whittle, and I would like some advice on that process and ask that we put a vote so that he be removed from the chamber unless he apologises for the statement that he has just made regarding the beliefs of the London Labour Assembly members. I would like some advice on that. That is, you say he's up to the line. I say he's crossed the line.
Cross the line where exactly?
Here.
Assembly Member Whittle, I will allow you to speak when it is appropriate. Let Assembly Member Arnold finish. I'm going to then take advice and then we will proceed on that basis. I'm chairing the meeting. Please do show that respect and wait for your turn. Thank you.
Okay.
I finished, Chair. I want some advice whether this process can be used. And I would like to name Assembly Member Peter Whittle.
Chair, Standing Order 2.10 relates to members' conduct in meetings. It indicates that the Mayor, Assembly members and co-opted members of committees shall treat each other, members of GLA staff and other persons with respect and comply with their obligations under the GLA Statutory Code of Conduct. If, in the Chair's opinion, any member or the Mayor, 1, persistently disregards the Chair's rulings, 2, behaves improperly or offensively, or 3, wilfully obstructs the meeting's business, then the Chair or another member may move that the named member not be further heard or that the member named shall immediately leave the meeting if the motion is seconded and put to the vote and determined without discussion. So standing orders leave that matter to the Chair as to whether they are of the view that the behaviour is such that it requires that procedure to be invoked. Chair.
Assembly Member Whittle, reflecting on what you have said, which I do deem to be offensive, are you prepared to withdraw your comments and apologise for your conduct?
Could you explain to me the particularly supposedly offensive lines?
Do you saying that I lack patriotism because I'm a Labour Party member?
Well, I think it's a very, very fair comment. I was talking about the Labour Party.
Chair,
and
I'm offended.
But it isn't a fair comment.
It is an absolutely fair comment on the way, judging on the record of the Labour Party over the past 10 years.
Look, Assembly Member, look, you really, this, I hope that you can really come to a reasonable kind of thinking in terms of the mayor, whatever strategy, whatever is put forward, is in his capacity not as a Labour Party member, as the elected Mayor of London.
Might be
and
something else he's
therefore
talking
to
about
attack
besides
him
my political
I was
party.
talking
and
about
attack the
Labour
party is totally inappropriate. Can you please be reasonable and withdraw your comments or apologize?
Do not think that the Labour Party shows any particular patriotism, so I will not withdraw the comment.
Okay, I second the motion then.
Chair, he's repeated it
that's
3
right now.
times.
Sorry?
We should act, Chair, because he keeps repeating the comments he made previously, and he's definitely not apologising.
Absolutely, and I've already seconded Jeanette, so now we're fighting Assembly Member Sahota to second Jeanette. This is disgraceful. He should be removed. Some of our relatives died fighting for this country. Some of our relatives have expressed the highest levels of patriotism. How dare you? How dare you?
I would say, how dare you tinker with British history, memorials and statues.
Look,
I don't mind.
I'm going to take a vote on this, and then right. I'm giving you last final opportunity to reflect on your comments, apologize for what you have said, which is very clearly not acceptable for the London government, which is what we are.
It was a political, Mr. Chairman, it was a political remark.
No, Chair, you're giving
It was
him
a
the
political remark, and
opportunity
it is not aimed at any particular individual officer.
Right. In that case, I'm going to put it to vote
Chairman,
to the
before you do
Assembly
that-
members. Sorry?
Chairman, sorry, this is Assembly Member Bacon. Before you do that, this is a slightly dangerous precedent because we are effectively ruling out free speech. I am respectful of your ruling, and I would ask you, perhaps you could offer a compromise, which is that Assembly Member Whittle withdraw that comment rather than withdraw and apologise, because by doing that, you're forcing him into a corner he can't get out of.
I have offered that both to him. Are you prepared to withdraw your comments? Look, I'm trying to be as helpful to sort of maintain the respect and dignity of this chamber, of this authority, and therefore, last opportunity, are you prepared to withdraw your comments?
Withdraw as opposed to apologise.
Withdraw the comments that you
withdraw
made.
that comment.
Okay, on that basis, I will move on. And can I please do request the members to consider before you make any kind of comments which can be offensive, inflammatory, that it does not look good on the role that we have as democratically elected members. If we can move on from that, right, where are we?